Welcome to Glory Days, the podcast that fucking seemingly everyone loves and hates.
5 seconds to get one. Bloody hell.
We don't have Alex in today, so I'm going to be the stand-in host. I'm going to be Adam Griffiths. I'm here on an interim basis.
Yeah, lovely.
Given that we have sacked David Zdrilic. Oh, no, sacked Alex, yeah. Well, there you go.
If for everyone wondering why James has already dropped the F-bomb within the first 5 seconds, he's quite angry because we just spent the last 25 minutes trying to set up the camera without Alex here, who normally does it.
Who normally sets it up. But
we got it.
If things look a little bit cooked, blame Alex in the comments and in the chat.
We did call him and he didn't pick up.
He's
probably asleep.
Too busy with his missus.
Happy anniversary to him.
I know, he's a simp. That's why I didn't come today, because he's with his missus, but whatever.
He has better things to do.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Perth Glory 0, Melbourne Victory 2, round 3, HBF Park, pitiful crowd of 5,200 and something, although it was a fairly average day in terms of weather, and by fairly average I mean rubbish.
I mean, it was pissing down at one point.
That was ridiculous.
It was like
to the bananas for soldiering through at the end.
Dude, I lost it, man. At one point when it just started pouring down, you just saw like all these people just running, man. Like I was up in the stand, so luckily I was covered, but there were so many people just running.
It's like a bomb went off or something. But then after all the dust settled, it was just those bananas left at the bottom, losing.
Good on them though.
No, it was hilarious. I
rate that.
That was a great part of the game.
Alrighty, so we had quite a few fan comments.
Oh wow, yeah,
I did see that.
Forgot about that
on Twitter. So seemingly we're getting more, mentions and interactions than the official Glory account. I'm sure Gareth won't give a shit, but that's all right.
Sorry, Gareth.
Love you, Gareth.
Yeah.
So we had Leeds United Will.
Oh, here we go. What have we got?
This could be interesting.
Yeah.
He said, "Shit." But Wales was moving like prime Neymar and was probably the only reason I didn't go home early. He created everything for us and we saw glimpses of the player he can be, and I'm confident with a better manager we can build on that and start scoring and, in brackets, hopefully winning.
Fair comment.
John Richardson said the players are midgets. Not sure what he's on about, but good on you, John.
Cheers, Wooden's John. Like 6'4" or something.
We got plenty of big players.
Yeah, no.
Literally and figuratively. Tottenham Dan, too busy commenting on our things because he doesn't have a team to support or a good enough team for him. So,
McCarthy isn't really a team anyway.
Well, they don't really exist. They're irrelevant.
They're next to go.
He said, they can fold next. Juan Mata's goal summed up this team mentally. Way too reactive and have no reading of the game at all. Cheers, Dan.
Oh,
Aston, prefer the shape in a 4-4-2, but we desperately need a coach who can coach some good attacking patterns. We look so flat going forward. Thought Wales was good, Wooden too.
Yep, that's fair.
Fabio, poor again. I was expecting some sort of reaction from the players after the events of the week, and nothing. 80th minute, down 2-0, and we're walking around just knocking the ball out the back. Disgraceful. Shut it all down. All things Perth Glory. Definitely an improvement, but we still lost. Lawrence was underwhelming, but thought him and Taggart played off each other well at times. Doesn't help that we can't slot away the big chances we get. With all that said, I think it's time Zdrilic gets the sack.
What?
Yeah, I was a bit confused when I read that one. I think it's surely he's mocking it because he.
Yeah.
He posted all about how Dave was. He's probably. It's a bit.
Bobby Saunders. We couldn't capitalise on our chances tonight. Wales was so wasted at left back last night. Back on the wing, no surprise, he was excellent in a beaten team. 4 chances created, the most in the game. 4 successful dribbles, most in the game. 75 duels won, most in the game, and 65 touches. Ethan, unbelievably slow in possession. At least we won something. No wonder we can't attack. The opposition have so much time to get back. Risen forced to play left back is so utterly shit.
Yeah.
We would be better off with 10. Wales did work really hard and was the only creator.
Yeah.
Daniel, best performance of the season so far. Not hard to beat the previous 2. Yeah, good point.
That's fair.
At least we started with energy and enthusiasm until the first goal went in. On another day, Tags would have buried his 3 chances. In possession, we lack creativity. And with Kaczarski out, we really lack width.
Yeah. This is true.
Jacob, not horrible. Some good positive moments, but they were sparse. At least we weren't booting it forward and losing it. The international break couldn't come sooner, but we need the new coach before it starts. A good win in the dub, though. At least we have something to celebrate. 100%.
This is true. Wow, I was moved. I can't lie. The way they were playing football yesterday.
I know we were playing Western Sydney and they're pretty shit, but I mean, it was the only positive of the day itself. And, fair play to the women's team because I think
they got a lot of new players come in.
They've got some very good players, and I think
our attack, an American
roller. I forgot what her last name was, but we brought her in. We've still kept Gabby Holler. We had Susan Fonson-Cam up front as well. So I think we've got a good enough attack to hopefully make a return to the finals.
To watch. I mean, genuinely,
I was very both make finals. You know?
That would be great if we can. Shout out to them. Well done.
Big shout out. Lachlan still struggle going forward. In saying that, we still created a couple of chances that we should have scored. Tags had a couple. Shamoon should have scored. Victory didn't look amazing. Wales was man of the match for me. Caltech looked a liability. We were good enough, but still managed to lose. As much as I think we played better than usual, we still lost, so it means nothing. Also, saying that Victory didn't look great, for large parts of the game, they let us control the ball because we can't move it. They could have scored 4. Our best attacks were from one-on-one brilliance.
Yes, it's true.
Jamal Lowe. Ooh. Brian Caltech, Josh Risdon, Trent Osler shouldn't be anywhere near the starting lineup or bench.
Oh,
Tom, this is very much they have been put into a 4-4-2 and told do your best, but it's an improvement, which says it all. Bo Raphael. Apologies if I've butchered your name there, mate. I probably have. We look unfit, lacking direction going forward. Wales man of the match by a long way and our biggest threat in attack. Not much change from recent weeks. Needed that new coach in ASAP.
Yeah.
James Andrew, same performance under the old gaffer. All right. Stompy positives. Wales further up the park where he should be, and Bozanovsky getting around the ground. Negatives. Caltech again. Risdon 2, just not up to it going forward, which slows everything down. Overall, not too upset given the situation. Just get the right coach in now, please. And then the last few. Sandro, he said, any risk of having a player in the squad able to beat their opponent 1v1? I think Lachie Wells beat his opponent 1v1.
But to be fair, that was about it.
Jordan, finally, how can a team look so shit with the ball? Genuinely sickening to watch. So sickening, I saw a kid throwing up outside HBF Park at full time. Sorted out, Glory. I've had a fucking gutful.
I don't even think we were that bad, man.
I don't think we were that bad at all.
It was frustrating, don't get me wrong.
I think like that comment about how they got told to go out there and do their best was still better tactically than what Dave was doing.
True.
Well,
like that says a lot about how bad it's been.
Well, some initial thoughts on the game itself. We'll go around the panel, but I think, given that, and we will talk about it, given that David was sacked on Tuesday, and then it was Adam Griffiths as the interim. Look, we've heard a lot of feedback all over pre-season that the players have really responded well to Adam Griffiths, and you could see that in those opening 10 minutes or so where we looked bright, and it was like, do we get excited? Are we allowed to get excited?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to be moved by this?
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Wales after the game, and he talked very highly of Griffiths.
They all have spoken really highly of Adam Griffiths, and every time I've asked independently of people, they've always said Adam Griffiths top coach.
Yeah. And I think considering he's had Wales said 3 days, 2 training sessions, he's done a lot, to be fair.
Well, I think he said in his post-game press conference that he wanted to make, an emphasis on possession, and I think we saw that.
Yeah.
But I think beyond keeping the ball, I think we definitely lacked a lot. And that for me, sort of going on to Zdrilic getting sacked when he did, I'm like, imagine if we actually had a proper coach doing this pre-season where we worked on ideas with the ball and actually had a bit more of a coherent game model rather than the 3 months that seemingly we've wasted.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, it is a little bit of a waste given that we're now in a position where we've sacked him 2 games into a season, and you're going to have a new coach that'll come in without his players. Yeah. He'll have to adjust to the existing coaching staff that's there. So, it's not exactly a seamless transition for any coach, but I think, again, and then I'll let you boys have your say because I want to hear your thoughts. Yeah. It wasn't a terrible performance with the circumstances considered. Yes, we can say we want more, we want better. But I think it was one of those rare games where we lost, but it's like, okay, there is maybe 1 or 2 things that we can build on from there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, but it was also like the press conference afterwards was also really refreshing.
He spoke really well.
Some of the things he said, I was like, this reminds me of, like a Kenny Lowe. Like, he doesn't have to be the best manager in the world. He's just doing the best that he can for the situation. But for him to press and push the idea that we needed more attacking football and that we needed to stop doing all the things that all the fans weren't liking, such as the side passes, like to hear him acknowledge and say what we want him to hear and say, you know what I mean? Like with Dave, you'd always get all these excuses and all these like rubbish. But with him, he went straight to the point and said, I didn't like that we were passive. I think we should have been more attacking. Like, I loved that. I haven't heard that in what feels like forever.
Well, he also said we need to get the belief back in Perth Glory. And I'm like, well, 100%, because even though there's belief within the group that they can make the finals, which hasn't been in question this season at least. On the pitch, when it's come to our football, I think we've not really played with that kind of a surety that Melbourne Victory did, where Victory were like,
they know that they knew what their brand of football was.
And they were content to sit off. So
it worked,
and it worked for them. But I think I appreciated the effort and the intent from our guys, and I thought in terms of maybe something to build on, be it with Griffo or be it most likely with a new coach. There were some. Small but positive.
I think. You go.
Yeah, I know a few people are gonna hear this and they might not like it. I know a lot of fans are obviously they want change and the results aren't acceptable. I know we lost, but I genuinely, this is the first time in a while that I've walked away from a game and had like some sort of feeling that I actually feel like we're going somewhere.
Yeah,
like I genuinely mean that, because there were brief moments where I did see like we were actually playing football.
And first 10 minutes.
You got to remember, like it's been. I've said again, we've had 2 training sessions. It's not an instant fix. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I genuinely think we could have easily won that game. We had 16 shots.
Yeah, we had
5
6
on target to their 9.
Yeah, you could argue Tags had 3 good opportunities.
Yeah, Tags had a lot of chances that on another day he would have scored.
Yeah, Tags on another day would have scored. But then again, he's been playing terrorism football for 14 months.
It's true.
So
it is true.
You can't. It's just one of those games. We could have won that.
Yep.
I genuinely thought we played well
for the situation that the squad is now in, and we also have to remember like Risdon was playing left back.
Yeah, which
that's just never going to work out well. And that's not on Risdon particularly. He's quite a one-footed player who's getting on in age, doesn't have the legs he used to.
We need Sutton back.
If Sutton was there, the game would have been completely different, I think, because those overlapping runs with Lockie and Sutton would have been something else. Like those would have been pinpoint I just think again.
We lacked a lot of width. Like there were times, like there was that one passing combination that we had in the first half where we just went boom, 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 boom through the middle, and I think Bozanovsky was hoping that Rizzo was already there, but Rizzo was still a bit too far back.
Went out for a throw.
Yeah. So and it's like we've still got to work on, and Griffo touched on it in his presser, like the behaviours and the habits. That's
the polish.
That's the big thing, behaviours and habits, because I think people might think formation is the be all or end all, even though we changed to a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Yes, we look a bit more comfortable in the 4-4-2, but it's more so what was Griffo wanting. He was wanting the players to keep the ball more. He was wanting us to try and play through. A big thing that stood out for me was that we didn't have that many long balls.
No.
Yeah.
That was a big. That was noticeable, and I think under Zdrilic there was so many times it was just hoof it forward, get it forward quickly. There's no sort of method to it. Okay, sure,
because we just given up.
but that's where we had seen the long balls the most, because Melbourne Victory had a much higher proportion of their total passes being long balls.
Hoof ball,
and we were much more accomplished in the final third because we had a reasonably good passing accuracy compared to Melbourne Victory. We may as well discuss the lineup. So, we sacked off the back 5.
Yeah.
We went
and the back 4 podcast. Get out, Alex. All right, anyway.
But we went to a 4-4-2. So we had Sutton in goal. We had Risdon left back, Wooten centre back, Kaltak also the centre back, Shamoon right back, Wales and Franey off the wing, Timmins and Bozanovsky in midfield, and then Tom Lawrence and Adam Taggart up front. A quick thought on the lineup.
Oh, I mean, it was decent, but I think Franey should have played instead of Timmins, and then. But I guess we don't really have another winger.
Didn't they both play at the same time?
But maybe like Franey in midfield next to Bozanovsky.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I should have. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I thought it was a decent lineup. not really a fan of playing Franey as a winger.
Yeah. I mean, I was a bit confused because I know Shamoon has played both positions before. And I was a bit confused if he's used to playing both sides, why not chuck him at left back and Rizzo at right back? That confused me a bit.
Yeah.
Because if you've got someone who has played both his entire career, like he's used to it, why not put him there? Why would you put Rizzo in a position where unless Rizzo said, I want to do it, we don't obviously
Or I'd be happy to do it.
Or I'd be happy to do it. It just felt like it was a bit of a waste. Like,
yeah, it did. But I think, we're because we're relying on Sam Sutton, who will be a top player when he gets back to the full fitness and everything.
We were really missing Kaczarski.
Well, we were just missing a lot of balance. Yeah. And that's the difference. I mean, Melbourne Victory, they had balance in their team, and I think that for me was the difference in the end. I think we definitely looked a little better in this shape.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded seeing us play with a 4-3-3. Like if we just had three in the midfield and let's say Tags up top, and then you had Lawrence off the left and then Wales off the right.
Yeah.
Maybe that could have helped with our issues in terms of the width and maybe allowing the likes of Bozanovsky and
even a
Freeney
4-3-3, but you have more Lawrence in the middle as like a 10, and then you have the two midfielders behind him in Timmins.
Yeah, perhaps, but I think we were just missing a little bit out wide.
Yeah,
so
but I think it's going to be like that until we get Jaden back. Like
Jaden back and
I mean,
Suts.
This could be a crazy take, but the kind of tactical, the way that we played last night, in terms of formation and everything. I know this might be crazy, but I think that kind of setup with a fully fit squad, with your Suttons and your Kaczarskis and everything, even your Amos and Penningtons, right? That is a winning display because the way we were playing completely suits Kaczarski and Sutton. So, so if we were to have a fully fit squad, because we haven't been able to say with a fully fit squad with Dave Ball we would win, right? Because we did have a fully fit squad for a while, and even then it wasn't.
But even in pre-season, it didn't look that fantastic.
Exactly.
I felt like as well. I think I brought this up to you, and you said like you don't need speed, but I felt like we were like obviously we had Wales, but we just were lacking a little bit of speed.
I think my argument was more so that when you're missing your key players, which can happen. If you're coded to playing only one way, then I think you're kind of selling yourself short. And it comes down to your system, obviously, in that you can cover for players if they're out injured or they're suspended or wherever. Yeah. And I just think, the fact that we've only known Zdrilic ball from the last 12, 14 months, if you like, where it was just, no real methodology to it, and the players are conditioned to that kind of way of playing. They're always thinking our outlet is only speed, rather than, well, let's try and play through Melbourne Victory, because Melbourne Victory didn't exactly have the quickest team.
It's kind of like FPL. Like, if you were to make a team in FPL and use all your points on all the main players, right, that's great. You'll get a lot of points. But when one of those key players gets injured and he's out for 6 months,
and then you've
got no one on your bench to replace him, you're going to lose. Like, you're going to lose points. So it's a lot like that. Like, you need to be able to play a system that nearly every player in your working squad can play, regardless of who's in and who's out. They need to be able to play it. So,
I agree.
I get what you're saying. It needs to be a simple game.
And that's why, and we'll get onto the game a little bit, but that's why I was like at halftime, I was like, the sooner we get a head coach within the team that can implement his philosophy, and hopefully that philosophy is coherent and isn't just, well, let's only focus on pressing. No, the game is more than pressing itself, and you can still tell that we're quite undercooked in a number of areas of the way that we play,
which is fair
because Griffiths was a defensive coach.
So if we bring in,
if we bring in a head coach, then because I felt like our biggest problem was polishing that front line and just getting it in sync.
Sure.
So
and even our possession as well. Just I think because we may as well touch on the game now. Popper and Foxy are at the game as well.
Oh, were they?
Didn't they leave at half time? I think I read that.
Maybe they thought, fuck this, Wise Glory playing crap. We're not watching this again. But we did start well. I thought, we started brightly. I thought we created some good opportunities for Adam Taggart in particular. And we looked a threat when we had the ball in those advanced areas, which, compared to when we played under David Zdrilic, it's night and day in terms of the confidence that we had when we attack. We had some really nice, crisp passing combinations where we tried to play through. I still think we're a little too cross-heavy. But I guess that's something that, how much can you really change in the space of 2 training sessions, as Wilesy was mentioning to us.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I think we're going to see a not completely different team. Yep. I think we'll see hopefully a much more well-oiled machine come the Mariners. I think given a full week.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're going to see a completely different setup.
I mean, I hope so. I think we need to, but I just felt as well, like on the wing, we didn't. Obviously, we cross it in, but we didn't really know what to do. It's like
Victory.
I get what you're saying. They were just parking the bus, and we couldn't break through.
When you have Juan Mata orchestrating in the midfield, I think that was kind of Victory's game plan. You could see it. Like, even though Mata was dropping quite deep, the plan for them was often let Mata find that one pass and then play on from there. Yeah, that was their game plan, and it worked a treat for them.
I think we had Tommy Lawrence dropping too deep as well.
Yeah, they were Tommy Lawrence playing as a 6 at some point. I think like, what are you doing, mate?
And that's when it also comes down to ideally a head coach having a good coherent system, because in an ideal world you have Tom Lawrence receiving up high on the half turn, where he can
looking
then
for the 3.
Well, yeah, because we kind of saw it at times, and when that happened, the Victory players panicked and they fouled him quite a few times.
A lot.
So that's the difference. If we can start to play a little bit better in terms of how we move the ball through the thirds, I think, we could see, us score more goals and just look a bit more like a complete side.
Yeah.
Because I have a bit of a theory, right? Mm-hmm. So in terms of Taggart missing his chances and us only having, I think, 2 shots on target, you can look at it from a psychology perspective in terms of exposure.
Yeah.
So how often are our players, in the games over the last year or so, been in positions where they're constantly shooting, or they're constantly in the box and they're able to shoot?
Yeah.
So you talk about exposure. It's like, well, how often is Taggart in those scenarios where he's getting across and it actually gets to him and he's actually getting to shoot 100%. Against the keeper?
And as well, speaking to the players after the game, I think it's also a confidence thing.
Because that's when it also comes to exposure.
They even said themselves, like, once we get, score that first goal, they just need to crack it. It just needs to click.
100%.
And as well, then the wins are going to come and they're just going to keep coming.
I think but that's not even just a Perth Glory thing. That's a football thing.
It's a football thing, but I think it's been particularly relevant for us because 100%. Last season we scored 22 goals and our underlying attacking numbers under Zdrilic for the first 2 games were really concerning for me at least, and just how we played. The eye test as well.
The entire way we played him today was concerning.
I mean, we'd have to look at the stats, but I genuinely believe the amount of opportunities Tags had tonight was like more than half the season last season. I'm not joking.
Well, the frequency of shots.
He had 8.
He had because he had in terms of, if you compare his numbers under Stadge versus under Zdrilic, there was a cataclysmic drop off in terms of the chances he was getting and the quality of those chances that he was getting each game. So again, I think that exposure argument probably does hold up a fair bit.
And it's similar with well, you would know all about this, James, with like United.
Oh fucking hell!
Like, how it's a thing. Like, hear me out, right? Like, it's like how many players go to United, stink up the gaff, then they leave, get given an opportunity to play their way and play attacking football or whatever it is, and they absolutely smash it because they get given the exposure. Like, McTominay, all those kinds of players who you leave, right? Like, once they're given exposure and the opportunity to play the way they want to play, then they start showing how good they actually are.
Yeah, but McTominay's playing in a farmers league, mate.
Serie A is not a league. No,
yes, it is.
No,
big difference between the Premier League.
No, I'm fully aware of that, but it's just a football thing. Like, I think McTominay is a perfect example because he was not given the opportunities that I think he was rightfully deserved at United. Because every time he would come on, he would do something. But for whatever reason, the managers just never would play him.
The interesting stat for me at the end of the game with Adam Taggart was that, do you know how much of an XG he created by himself?
No.
For himself?
Yes. I'd say like maybe 6? 1, maybe.
Josh was actually closer. Really? Adam Taggart's XG per FOP at the end of the game was 1.18.
Wow.
So he had 8 shots, but it just shows that he's not had this in a long time. And this is under, Griffo can't change that much in the space of a few days.
Of course not, no.
But already it was like he was getting found far more frequently, I'd argue, than he ever did under David Zdrilic.
100%.
So, and that was probably the disappointing thing when we had those chances and you thought it's only a matter of time when Melbourne Victory got their first goal. I'll just run through how it went. So it was a Caltac miss-hit clearance because he kind of headed it to himself and then the ball came down. I think he tried to like clear it up the field, but it went straight to.
He was just lacking confidence, man.
Went straight to Jordi Valadon, who then found Grimaldi. Grimaldi managed to tap it outside to Keegan Jelicic, or Jelasic. Is that how you say his name now?
Jelicic.
Jelicic, whatever.
If it's not that, then I don't know. But
So
I've always said Jelicic.
Keegs had way too much time.
Yeah, Keegs.
And look,
And we all know how good he is.
And we all know how good he is, and it would have been great if he could have come back to glory, but you know,
Didn't celebrate.
And he didn't celebrate, yeah.
yeah, he didn't celebrate. And I think
Nice
you know,
start,
it was a great finish, but it just shows those small details for us as a team. Even though we should have quality players and we shouldn't be seeing these actions, I think, you know, for someone like Brian Kaltak, I've been, you know, really disappointed with his performances so far.
Just wait till we get to the second goal, James. Just you wait.
I still, I mean, obviously he's been disappointing, but I think you just got to give him time, because after those, besides those couple of mistakes, like there were glimpses, like periods of the game where I thought he looked quite solid, but it was just silly, small little mistakes. Like it's the dumb clearances and the stupid passes.
And this could be a confidence thing. Like I think last week's game might have rocked him a little bit. Like his confidence looked a bit shot. When he got the ball, he didn't look like he wanted to pass it. He looked like he was looking to go backwards.
Well, even now, I think, you know, Brian's got a fairly good passing range in itself, but I think he just, with what he was demonstrating, particularly in this game against Victory, I just think it was, you know, there's still a lot of hesitancy.
But we did see that throughout the squad as well. I feel like there seemed to be a bit of a hesitancy.
And that probably is where it also comes down to habits and behaviours and exposure and that kind of thing. So
I think as well, you saw he was trying to like create or spark something. A lot of the other players were playing it safe and just passing to the side, and at least he was trying that, but it just...
It did feel like he was kind of trying to perhaps even redeem himself a little bit. Yeah. Like we can get into that a bit later with some of the things
we'll get into it a little bit later.
But I do feel bad for him because he's really, really
he
good.
is a top defender on his day, and I think if we can get that back,
at
then
his best. Him and Wooten at the back at their best would be fantastic.
Agreed. So I just again in possession, I just felt, you know, we did look more comfortable than usual because, you know, our first two games, I think we had 28% possession against Wellington and then 40% against City. So, you know, those are abysmal numbers as far as I'm concerned. But we did look comfortable in possession.
Yep,
we did.
But in terms of there's being comfortable in possession, and then there's being comfortable with the ball that you can manipulate the opposition under pressure. Yeah. And that was the difference at the end of the day, because we had more of the ball. I think we ended up with about 57% possession.
We did,
but we couldn't use the ball enough to ask questions of Melbourne Victory. You know, and to explain why, our movement in possession was quite stale. Yeah. So there were lots of times where
like the last 30 minutes of the game were just passing around the back.
Well, even that, it was like when we would have those goal kicks or those deep build-up situations, it would be quite predictable, and like the pass is going here, the pass is then going there, and then as soon as the player gets that ball, it's kind of like, oh shit, I've got 3 Victory players on me. Yeah. There's no predetermined combinations or ideas or principles where they can go, okay, we've worked on this so many times, we've worked on players pressing us, we know what they're going to do, we know how to get out of those situations. But I think Victory just kind of baited us into those moments where, you know, they didn't have to have much of the ball. No. I think, you know, they managed the game fairly well, and it just disappointing for us on the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I completely agree. Like you can be comfortable on the ball, right? Like any team can be comfortable to pass the ball. It's just about whether or not you can then pass the ball forward and keep it. Can you get around the pressure? Can you figure out how to break down the defense? Can you work a creative shot? Can you manage to even have some individual brilliance like with what Lockie did?
Yeah.
Right?
And I thought Bozanovsky, like there were times where like most times I looked at, he had like 3 Victory players on him, and he just like turn around and
a good team exposes Victory's press a little more. Yeah. Because they were certainly wanting to get the ball back often for as much as they did sit off. So that, I think, with the new coach, that would be one of my big priorities. How is Perth Glory going to play on the ball? What are we going to be like on the ball? That for me is a question that I think not a lot of Glory coaches have had the answers to. No, because I think we've been really unimaginative on the ball, and that's been a big reason why we've been one of the worst attacking teams the last 5 years, consistently at least. So second half, look, I thought we were a little better. Were there any thoughts on the first half, by the way?
Not really, but definitely second half we played a lot better.
Yeah.
I think it went as well as could be expected.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to this game thinking we were going to win.
Aside from the graphics.
Okay, I was going to wait until the end of the game, end of the podcast to talk about this and just as an end segment. But let's talk about it now.
May as well.
Whose idea was it? Why was it there? And it better not come back. I don't want to see any spooky, scary skeletons or ghosts of David Zdrilic on the screen, right? Or bouncing pumpkins or shed we can't hear you.
Redback spiders dangling.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
I don't know who the idiot was who thought that was a good idea, but never again. If I go to the game and I see a shed we can't hear you,
that annoyed me so much.
I'm finding
it was very.
We had our supporters like yelling through the rain. They were getting poured on, and then it's we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Like I understand.
It was very Wildcats like.
No, that's what I'm saying. I understand what they're doing. It's very American. It's very much like defense. Like Wildcats basketball is like get louder. But you have to understand who you're dealing with. You're dealing with an incredibly English fan base, right?
Or just the market of football fans. Period.
Football fans, right? Like. They're not going to respond like that.
No,
that's not what you do to help them respond. You just leave them alone.
We've dealt through 5 years of shit. Our team is 2-0 down.
Yeah.
And you're telling
us
us to be louder.
With the rain, right? And so you know what? It says, Shed, we can't hear you. And then what do we get? We get, we're fucking shit.
We've lost,
you can hear us now because we're saying this. I'm pretty sure I heard audible boos every time it came off on the screen from the Shed. And I'm just like,
that wouldn't shock me. So the second half, we started to press a lot higher.
Yeah.
We were a bit more aggressive. I thought, Sebastian Despotovsky again looked fairly decent when he was played high up.
Yeah.
Taggart should have scored that chance where he whacked it straight at Jack Duncan.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be no doubt he'd be fucking filthy with how that went. It just is.
I think he'd be pissed at himself that he didn't get one goal.
At least one, because he should have had one. And I just think we were the side that were, while we weren't necessarily compelling, I think we were asking the most questions.
Yeah.
And then for fuck's sake, Victory's second goal.
Right.
I'll quickly give a rundown of that, and then Will, you can blow your lid off.
Okay.
But Victory they built out well from a goal kick. Brian Kaltak came out like a bat out of hell, crunching challenge, but we couldn't then get possession and then transition. Instead, there was a big hole that was left, and I think Brian might have noticed a little bit too late.
Yep.
Ball makes its way to Jason Davidson. They moved it really nicely down their left-hand side, crossed in, and then Juan Mata all by himself at the back post. Look, if you're a Melbourne Victory and a Manchester United fan, or a neutral fan and a Manchester United fan, you'd be happy with
over the moon.
Scoring.
Over the moon.
I was like, for fuck's sake, nice one, Juan. But I just think again, I hate to go after him. I hate to go after Brian.
Yeah.
I want to see him be that big centre back that we know that he can be.
I remember when he made that tackle, and me and Alex were like, "Oh, what a tackle!" He just crunched him. But I just think he was just generally
a bit too rash.
Yeah,
lacked a little bit of discipline. Probably.
Like you can make that tackle, right? It's a 50-50 chance it goes well if the tackle is successful.
Yeah.
If that tackle is a successful one, and you manage to get the ball and you don't foul him, there's still a 50-50 chance that it's the wrong idea.
Yeah.
And we saw that we didn't get possession after that tackle, which then led to a huge gap at the back.
Yeah.
Which then obviously...
Sorry.
Anyway, sorry. People are just going mental. If you're playing against players such as your Jason Davidson and your Juan Matas, you cannot afford a gap like that, because the one time you break that line, they will make you pay. And look, I understand. This is what I was saying before, that I think Brian maybe is trying to,
try too hard
to show, show some passion, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But as an experienced centre back, as someone who knows, how to hold a line, how to make sure you can shut down attacks, that is not what you do.
No,
I think he just needs a little bit. Needs to play a little bit more passive.
Yeah, like there was
simplify the game just a little bit more. And maybe he may need a spell on the bench just to kind of get himself together.
I don't think that's going to help.
Well, I just think he needs to get back to the levels that he showed at Central Coast, because he can be one of the best defenders in the A-League.
100%.
But I think even though I can't pin it all on Brian because there's still
Of course,
other layers
because there's still other defenders and there's
Yeah,
still other.
and
Yeah,
it was the same as last week against City, where it was like, to only single out Brian for those first 2 goals would be
unfair.
Well, it'd be a bit reductive because there were other layers that led
I
to
think
those.
our
to those
expectations are
moments.
too high on him to like. He's easy to blame. I think because we brought him in as the best centre back in the league, everyone's got too high expectations.
Well, but I think it's because we need our defenders in particular to really defend like their lives depend on it, because we've conceded, I think, 200 goals in the last few seasons, which is just way too much. So,
look, it was a moment of this could be amazing or this could be awful, and unfortunately, it turned into something awful. Those are the kinds of tackles that will either set up a goal for you because you win the ball high up the pitch and you go on the counter, or you lose it still, and then you've got a massive gap. Yeah, and unfortunately for him, it resulted in that, and that's just, again, not a good thing for his confidence. And I do feel awful, but it's just not what you do when you're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
You've got to be conservative. You've got to make sure you keep the ball, win it back, and then attack. You can't take risks like that, especially when there's so much time left in the game.
It has to be a bit more calculated.
Yeah. If we were down 3-0 and we got to press to get the ball back, absolutely no problem with that. But when you're still very much in the game, you've got time to get back into it. You can't just do that.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a disappointing one for him, but I'm sure he'll bounce back from it.
Yeah, we all love you, Brian.
Yeah.
Just put it this way, we all really want you to succeed.
I think he'll come good.
Absolutely he will. And look at that, we're 3 bozos trying to tell one of the league's best centre-backs how to defend. And I feel terrible for doing it.
Yeah.
But, it is our point here is to point out the obvious, and that's exactly what we're pointing out.
Yeah.
So we know you'll come good, mate.
Matt Sutton pulled off a few great saves.
Mate,
what a blank. So Virgos twice, and then I think Jason Davidson had a header that he saved.
Yeah,
basically dead on in front.
Mate, some insane
saves. He did make some really good saves. Shabel Shamoun had a great chance that he butchered at the back post.
To be honest, I watched the replay. It wasn't as bad as it looked.
I wasn't happy.
You just need to loft it.
He tried to do the right thing,
whack
but
that
he should have just
motherfucker in the back
Just
post.
smack it.
Just smack it.
Don't try and pass it.
Don't be too cute. Just blast that thing.
You got to
mate.
score those.
Even if it's just this high, it's a goal.
Yeah.
It's just because it's on the floor. That's the only way it's going to be saved is if it's on the floor. That's it.
But that's the thing. We had so many of those opportunities throughout the game where it was like,
yes, thinking about it. Yeah.
Lockie Wells and Adam Taggart were the most dangerous combination for the Glory.
For sure.
People might have been questioning why Tom Lawrence went off at halftime. It was due to concussion.
Oh.
Yeah. Concussion.
Oh, did we not tell you, Will?
No.
Concussion. We found that out after the game. So, concussion. That was
what's the protocol in the A-League for concussion? Is it 2 weeks?
I don't know. I think I'd hope he'll be back.
Was it concussion or concussion test?
Not sure. Just concussion. I think that was the official line.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think just on Tom Lawrence, I think, he's not played a lot of football, obviously. He's been training by himself for a fair bit. He's not really had much match fitness. Yeah. So,
but I saw glimpses of him you'd like to see from a visa player, especially high profile him.
We did, and I just think, if it's the same kind of argument with all our players, like be it the ones that we currently have or the ones that we've just brought in, if we can platform them a little bit better in whatever way the new coach will play, then I think we'll see Tom Lawrence go to the levels that we know that he can. But I think that's the exciting thing is we saw bits of Tom where it's that's pretty good, but it's this is him at
he was jumping on top of players trying to win headers.
I'd say this is probably him at maybe 40 or 50%.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not full
this is not the full.
No,
this is not the full
not
player we paid for just yet, which is fine.
But he's got plenty of time to build those combinations up and get to full fitness.
I'm ready for a fully 100% Tom Lawrence.
But in the meantime, when you've got someone like Lockie Wales who was playing like prime I9 at times, just with
the step overs and
the step overs,
kicking into people's shins and then it bouncing back to him, and then he was.
Have we seen a more direct version of Lockie Wales?
Never ever. Well, that's the version of Lockie Wales I thought we were going to get when we first signed him.
Yeah.
No, well, he was decent when we first signed him, but then he got injured.
But to the level that we saw,
to the level, but then he turned into a fullback.
Yeah,
because that makes sense.
He was definitely. I don't know why Dave was playing him as a wing back.
I have an answer for
honestly.
you, Josh. I have a really good answer as to why he did that.
Are you using your brain?
Yeah, because he's not a manager.
Not anymore.
He doesn't. Yeah.
No. But he was. I thought. Yeah, Wales and it won't be a surprise. Hint, who the fans' man of the match was. But he was a standout. And again, it's what is our attack going to look like when it is fully going?
Him, Taggart, Jaden,
Lawrence,
and then unnamed possible signing in the summer. And
there's plenty of.
I think, sorry, just real quick, the second half, Wales was just like, fine, I'll do it myself. And he was just like,
Yeah,
he was just charging at every player and just running through them.
I think I was saying I can't remember if I was saying it here before, but it was just like, it just felt like Griffo said, Lockie, you're one of the better attackers in the league. Just do it.
Yeah, please just play well.
And he just went, oh, okay, fine, then I'll just do it then. And then he just switched it on. I was like, where was this the first half? Because first half we were saying he looked a bit off.
Yeah, but then the second half he just went boom.
Yeah.
He found another level. So that was amazing.
Good for
and
him.
hopefully we can, see those performances continue.
Yeah.
And he can get a few goals next week against the Central Coast Mariners. Despotovsky had a great chance at the end to get one back because that was Wales where he cut in and just whacked the fucker and it just skidded past and got to Despo at the back post. Yeah. But I think, it wasn't our night.
No.
I think, and there's not really much more for me to point out from the game or even to cover because I think you could really simplify it to it wasn't our night.
Yeah. Yeah. But when have we been able to say that?
Probably not since stage.
We haven't been able to say, well, you know what, we could have won that one.
Yeah.
Like convincingly. Like,
can I give you boys a good example? And I know you're not going to like this, James. This is like when in the Champions League, Liverpool played Barcelona and lost 3-0, and then the next match they beat them 4-0. Like just another day, and I think we could have easily beaten Victory.
Maybe not quite that extreme, but I think, but I think again it comes back to that point.
We could have scored like 5 goals.
Possibly, but I also think we didn't do enough to deserve.
Yes, but Shamoon,
Victory could have also scored 5.
They could have, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was
made 3 goal line saves.
Yeah, I think we were much closer in this game than quite a lot of the games in the David
If we play
Zdrilic.
like that against the Phoenix, we win.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and I think if we play like that again against the Mariners, we might win that one too.
We should be coming away with a win.
Yeah.
Were there any final thoughts from this Victory game?
Might just talk about the stupid graphics on the screen again. It was bad, man.
It was silly.
Like, you know what? I've already said it, but it's just so hard to insult your fans even more. I don't care about the Halloween stuff. I get it. It's fun for the kids. Whatever. The shed, we can't hear you. That is utterly ridiculous.
Whoever was in charge of that, just a note to self. Please don't do that next time.
If I see it again, I don't. Obviously, there's nothing I can do, but I just don't think we'll see it again. Because
I don't think we will
I saw on Twitter loads of people will be like, "What is
bagging
this?
it out?"
Yeah, which is totally fair.
My last thing I just want to add, not sort of about the game, the attendance. Anyone who attended Halloween, they call it, over attending the game, you're not a real fan. Like, that's disgraceful.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Disgraceful,
I wouldn't say that. I mean, fans are more than entitled to go, no, fuck this.
I mean, to be fair, it was on a Friday night.
Yeah. So that's the game.
Yeah.
There was the top story that was a few days ago because we haven't really talked about it, but David Zdrilic's sacking.
Yeah.
We had a few people that were wanting to know how my FRG meeting, well, not mine, but I was a part of the FRG.
It's yours.
It was the FRG meeting where we were scheduled in to meet Stan Lazaridis.
Yeah.
So, we usually meet at the end of the month, and we had Stan scheduled in. And I can say on behalf of the FRG that we definitely, at the time before the meeting, we were going to be asking Stan some tough questions.
Bro, but a booklet.
Oh no, I had a big book that was there. I had a big A4 book and had all these different points and questions because I would have, there's lots that I'd love to ask.
I do find the sacking timing so funny that the moment Stan has to face you guys, he gets the sack.
To be honest, I do genuinely think part of it he would have just been like, oh shit, I got to see the fans' face on.
The timing is funny, James. You have to admit.
No, it was a little bit interesting, yeah. But there was at that time there were some rumors that were going about that unconfirmed rumors, obviously, but there were some rumors that Zdrilic may have been sacked that day, and I was like, no, that can't be right.
Doesn't make any sense. But you're using your brain, James.
Oh no, to be honest, it was like we saw that article go out that. Ross was looking.
It was Peter Vlahos was on Sports Day.
Yeah,
and that was on Monday.
Yeah.
So he was about
Day before.
I can't remember who he was about to interview, but he said, that his mail was that Ross Pelligra was speaking with coaches in Melbourne.
Yep.
That had been floating about. So I think the moment you hear that, Zdrilic was a dead man walking.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
And so when we had the meeting, we were expecting Stan. Stan was a little bit late, and we were like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" He's meant to be here. We got starting at a certain time, and then next minute someone goes, "There's Stan and Rado," and I was like, "Rado, we saw him last month. What's he doing here?" And so I can't lie. Through my head, I was like, "Oh shit, they might have actually done it." So at that point, when they all came down and sat down and introduced themselves and all that sort of thing,
so hi, I'm Stan.
Hi,
yeah, we know.
Hello, I'm Stan. Yeah. But yeah, Rado sat down, and not long after, he basically said, "Look, we're going to advise you guys that we've terminated the contract of David Zdrilic." I'll say this because I won't reveal too much else of the meeting because there's lots that's obviously
you can't say as well.
I can't.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I do apologise. But I have said this to Glory officials in the past. Recently, I should say. I was like, well, why did we keep David to begin with? Why did we keep him to begin with? I think the rationale at the end of last season for keeping him was so wonky that without sounding like too snarky, it's like, well, we did see this coming. Like,
I can understand
there was a strong possibility this was going to happen.
I can understand their argument as in we didn't feel like we gave him the backing we should have last season, which I can sort of get on one sort of perspective, but as well, I feel like you could see even with the right backing, he shouldn't have gotten the results he did last season.
Yeah. Well, if he was that good of a coach, that
we would have gotten better.
Feel that because if he was that good, he would have gotten more results.
Yeah.
And
even with what we had last season, he would have got more results.
There would have been more compelling evidence that he was the guy, but I think we never saw it. And, I think the club were absolutely within their right mind to make the decision when they did because we've got home games coming up. Yeah. We've got quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we can't be in a position where it's like we're oohing and ahhing with Zdrilic and we're not really sure. And then it's like next minute, oh shit, we've only picked up 2-3 wins. With the squad that we have, with the investment that's been made, I don't think that can be justified. So I think that the criticism should be more towards the people that decided to say, yep, we should keep Zdrilic heading into this season. We should have let him go at the end of the season.
I think they just made it gamble and that it obviously didn't work out, but I think we can only move forward. We can't look back. Obviously, I know there's questions have to be asked, but I still think they backed a coach. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But yes, they should have sacked him at the end of the season.
I think the 2 last games of the season is what saved him. I think the Adelaide and the Phoenix game is what let him stay longer.
And also the Mariners Cup game.
Yeah.
So that was the line that was getting peddled out. But I just think, in terms of compelling evidence, if you're relying on that as a sample size, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing they could grasp at. And of course, there's also the thing we've touched on is, it's a club for mates. Like, I think that's always again, we obviously can't just say that's obviously it, but I do think there's an element of that they didn't want to get rid of someone they considered a friend.
I have gained a little bit of respect because they did sack Dave, but obviously it just happened too late. So.
Jason Bontempo, he said following Zdrilic's sacking, he said, there is too much at stake this season for Perth Glory, its members and fans, and for WA football. I really admired Zdrilic for his extreme hard work, dedication to detail, limitless efforts, and most of all his professionalism. Sadly, the first 2 games precipitated a loss of confidence for him to achieve with this new squad. I wish him the best, and I'm sure when he finds the correct environment that suits him, he'll be very successful. I did not like the sound of that, so then I promptly replied. And so I said, with the greatest respect, why should the members and fans trust yours and the club's future decision-making process? No one was questioning Zdrilic's work ethic or personality. We were questioning his competency and ability for the role as a first-time head coach who received a 3-year deal.
100%.
So I just think, Jason should be. I know it can't just be Stan and Zdrilic, or particularly Zdrilic now that he's gone, to be made out as scapegoats.
For sure.
Yeah. So there are people that
I'm sure there's
operating
more
in the background
issues than
just
that should be willing to face the music almost from the fans and be accountable for their decision making.
I had a little bit of a laugh because I sent through the ins and outs, and just the injury list we have is like
it's questionable
early on. It's ridiculous and
questionable.
Yes,
I'm being polite.
The coach can have a little bit of a blame with that, but like managing like loads, bringing in players in too early, etc. Yep. But still, that amount of injuries is not on the coach, in my opinion.
I just think it's a bad look in terms of optics.
I think as well, that last point you made with that tweet you responded to with the 3-year deal, right? I think we've seen a lot of that. We were talking about last podcast about what happens. I think you were saying if you try and run like a mechanic shop with a bunch of apprentices, right?
That was it.
Yeah. If you give a bunch of people who haven't done the job before long-term contracts to do the job, or even players that haven't proven they're good enough long-term contracts, which we have done as well, not naming names. In another world, right, if you were to give a bunch of contracts and put a bunch of investment into things that don't make your company any better, you can then be liable for stakeholders to say, you've done things that go against us making profit, therefore we're removing you, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it's a bit different in football, but you do have to question some of the decision-making in terms of the actual future of the club. What kind of decisions are being made where we're giving a first-time coach a 3-year deal in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, Jason said in his own words, if he went into a different environment, I'm sure Zdrilic would be more successful.
What were we doing in the off-season?
Yeah,
we literally created
I just want to say real quickly, yes, I think it was the right decision to sack Dave, and like, no offense, I don't think he's a good head coach.
No,
like he's definitely knowledgeable. He's
he might be
a good
the best assistant you'll ever get, but not the head coach.
But if you were to bring in an experienced director of football and experienced staff around him, I'm sure the results wouldn't have been what they were last season. No. I still don't think he would have been the right fit.
He's not the head of the snake. He's just a part of it. Like he's not there. I don't know if there is actually particularly the head of a snake in the situation. I think there's multiple heads.
I just think that, certain people should accept that there needs to be far greater accountability and 100%. Transparency, and they can't just hide in the background.
So that's why if we want any success, we need to get an experienced head coach in.
We'll touch on that in just a little bit because.
Sorry, I'm still waiting for Stan to say he was wrong for promising that we were going to be in the finals last year. I'm still waiting for him to be accountable for that. Just saying. Speaking of accountability, anyway. Tick tock. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Point. So we may as well touch on our player ratings and man of the match.
Yes.
We didn't do a man of the match last week because, frankly, no one deserved a man of the match.
No one was.
Because that was just appalling, that performance.
Mm-hmm.
So
man of the match goes to, was Big Red there?
Pardon me?
Was Big Red at the game?
Who's Big Red?
Big Red.
Who?
The fan.
Chris Lawrence?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Why didn't you say Chris? I don't know.
His nickname's Big Red.
I got confused and thought Redwig Steve.
No, not Redwig Steve.
That's what popped into my head. He probably was there. I'm not sure.
I don't know if he was there. But they were man of the match. He always,
All the people that went to the game.
Because they had a bunch of people they didn't have. Will Evans was there, I think.
Yeah, there were a few.
A bunch of people there, which was really good. But yeah.
So for this game, just as a refresher, so you rate the players out of 10. 5 is the average. 1 means you were poo. 10 means you were amazing.
Yep.
So
I think people know what that ratings mean.
But 10 means bad.
Just to clarify for any novices that are working this out for the first time. So, Matt Sutton, you guys gave him a 6.2. We gave him a 7.
Yep.
Shabel Shamoon, you guys gave him a 4.8. We gave him a 4.3.
Eek.
Scott Wooten, you guys gave him a 5.1. We gave him a 5.7. Brian Kaltak, you guys gave him a 4. We gave him a 4.3. Josh Risden, you guys gave him a 4. We gave him a 5. Reese Bozanowski, you guys gave him a 5.9. We gave him a 6.7.
Yeah.
Hey, he was like one of our best players.
Callum Timmins, you guys gave him a 4.8. We gave him a 4. Tom Lawrence, you guys gave him a 5. We gave him a 5.2.
Yeah.
Will Franey, you guys gave him a 4.5.
Ooh.
We gave him a 5.3. Lockie Wales, you guys gave him a 6.2. We gave him a 6.7. Adam Taggart, you guys gave him a 4.9. We gave him a 4.3. Sebastian Despotovsky, you guys gave him a 4.8. We gave him a 4.7. Trent Ostler, you guys gave him a 3.6. We gave him a 4.2.
Ow.
Gee,
Adam
he wasn't
Bulgaria,
that bad. That's
Adam
a bit harsh.
Bulgaria, you guys gave him a 3.5.
Oh.
We gave him a 4.3.
Ouch.
Brandon O'Neill, you guys gave him a 3.8.
Okay.
We
Why does
gave
everyone
him-
hate Brandon?
We gave him
He
a
didn't.
5.
He played for like
He came
5
on-
minutes. What was he supposed to do?
The man of the match with 46% of the vote
Yeah.
was Lockie Wales,
Fair.
followed by Sutton,
Yep.
and then Bozanovsky.
Fair. No,
I
okay.
think if we won, the ratings would be obviously a lot higher.
Well,
Like,
I put Sutton as my man of the match,
Yep.
personally, because I thought some of those saves he made, you could argue the first goal he could have done better. Second goal, not his fault. Chap in for Juan Mata, never saving that. But 3 or 4 saves he made were absolutely top draw.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit confused by the Brandon O'Neill thing. He came on so late.
and he played good.
Yeah, I
He
gave
was
him
making good passes,
5.
man.
He didn't do good. He didn't do bad. He just came on and
He was okay.
yeah,
I
he was
genuinely
alright.
think this season he's been better
hasn't
than
put it-
last
yeah,
season.
he has.
Because we're actually playing him in his
3.8 for Brandon.
we're playing him in his correct position.
No.
It's stiff.
Sorry, listeners. I know everyone who's voted is probably listening. I just think, look, I mean, you could be ranking it different than I do. When a player comes on for like the last 5-10 minutes and doesn't really do anything wrong or does anything good, I could just give him the 5.
Yeah.
Like it's just not good, not bad. Like didn't really have a chance to prove himself.
Well, I just think that there's some blanket harsh ratings, maybe because of a loss, maybe.
Yeah, but also some people just do like to hate on
Do we
Brandon.
agree with Lockie Wales being man of the match? I know you were saying Matt
Well,
Sutton.
I look, I was a bit harsh in my personal rating of Lockie, and Josh did point this out, which is fair. I gave Lockie a 5 in my, and this is why, because in the first half, I thought he was like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good.
Yep.
Didn't play anywhere near the level I know he can. Then in the second half, I thought he was like a 7 or an 8. So balancing those out, because it's a full 90,
Yeah.
I gave him a 5. Pretty crap first half, pretty really good second half. Like just average
night
out
and
of a
day.
5.
Yeah.
But personally, like I can understand why you give him a 5 because he was the only one who seemed to want to do anything on the ball to create attack.
Josh, do you agree with the Lockie Wales man of the match?
He was my man of the match.
Yeah. You had a good
But-
chat with him after.
I did. I did. Some stuff.
Did have a good chat with him after.
Yeah.
And fair play to Scott Wooden as well.
Yeah.
I'll just shout him out.
Just the passion he was showing.
had a big chat with him.
You could see it really affected them. They wanted to win. so
Yeah,
bad.
and you could just see he was just like frustrated, but also at the same time, it's like there's still that belief.
Yeah.
And so I think now we can kind of segue to who could potentially be the head coach.
Yep.
So there's been a few stories that have come out lately. So Marco Monteverde today has said that John Aloisi has turned down the chance to coach Perth Glory.
Huge.
So that was on Thursday. He advised the club no.
I mean, that was sort of expected though, because didn't he turn down an MLS team?
No, I'm not. Oh, well, mate, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
look. The thing is that
I think he's past the A-League.
No, he's waiting for Tallow.
well, you've got clubs, and it was suggested in the article. You've got clubs like Western Sydney, Sydney FC, Melbourne Victory. They're all probably not convinced with their respective gaffers.
Yeah.
In my view.
Which I don't blame Sydney at all.
No,
Yeah, I
and
don't blame Sydney.
It was
I think
also-
Western Sydney's a bit harsh.
It was also mentioned that Aloisi is keen to test himself overseas.
Okay.
His services have been offered to Colorado Rapids.
I will
Oh,
say
okay,
Sydney
there you
just
go.
did finish their game. They won 4-1 against.
Apparently,
the
Pat Wood
Jets.
scored.
He did.
Fucking any-
Is that 2 in 2 games now?
Any
for him?
danger of scoring a goal for glory?
Did he score last game? Or was it the game
I've
before?
got no idea. So the article was...
Yeah, he did. Yeah, two.
So
two games.
the article then went on to say, with Aloisi having said no, former Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory coach Patrick Kisnorbo is likely to be offered the glory job.
Not given, offered.
Another candidate...
He's got to take it, James.
Yeah.
Another candidate is Ross Aloisi. The Glory also inquired about the services of Graham Arnold.
It's ambitious.
I don't know why the bloody hell we did that.
something Sydney Sweeney something like what's that?
Yeah.
What's that tweet?
Oh, what would you rather do? I'd rather take Iraq to a World Cup or coach the Glory.
Ben Smith has said that Nick Montgomery is also on the short list. Again, Ross Aloisi has been mentioned, as is Patrick Kisnorbo.
So I'm curious, before we get into those names you've said,
Yep.
Stan was obviously quoted saying that there's been a number of applicants, not that we're offering
20.
20. Who would those applicants be?
Fuck knows. I don't know.
And also pointing on that,
Yes.
Griffo said in the press conference last night that he wants to show that he can provide good attacking football.
Yep.
Almost like an application.
He wants the job.
He wants the
He
job.
wants the job, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
We
asked,
said what assistant coach wouldn't want a head coach gig.
Yeah.
so not Dave. I asked the panel this.
Yep.
After the Mariners game, we can have a higher judge on this.
Yep.
Purely based off what we saw last night, would you be happy if at the end of this, Griffo gets given the job?
No. Josh?
Look, I
I'll say mine a bit.
highly respect him.
Yeah.
But in this point in time, I think we need a head coach. We need a
That's
big
fair.
name, big fish head coach.
Yeah.
Because I think with Griffo, I want him involved in the club.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
That's-
As a blanket,
It's just
Griffo-
the wrong timing.
Yeah, and I think we're in that phase of the club where you do need that kind of presence of a head coach that has a bit of credibility to them.
Yeah.
It's
true.
It's worth mentioning from Ben's article that any incoming coach may have scope to bring in an assistant,
Okay.
but they would not be able to make wholesale changes to the support
I
staff.
see. So they can bring themselves and an assistant manager with them, but no one else.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So
So
Nick Montgomery is an interesting one
yeah, it is an interesting one.
because who would he bring as an assistant? do you think?
Serge, I think Serge is Portuguese,
think?
mate. Yeah.
Because he was obviously Ange
Yeah.
as the assistant.
Yeah.
So yeah, he probably would bring Serge. I personally think
If it was up to you, who would you want?
Nick, 100%.
Josh?
Probably Paddy.
Paddy Kisnorbo?
Yep.
Paddy is an interesting one because I've floated his name about with a few people and the reaction has been almost visceral.
If you
I
look
know
at
he
our
doesn't have the
tweet-
best reputation because
Yeah.
he left Victory like 8 games into the season.
But then he also kind of stunk it up a bit at the other
yeah.
clubs he went to
well,
after
I just think there are valid concerns with PK.
100%.
I think two things can be right at the same time. I think PK could walk in and I think he would have the capacity to change things around because I think the discussion has never really revolved around PK and his coaching methodology. It might be man management. He pissed off Fornarola, he pissed off Arzani, and he pissed off Melbourne Victory by jumping after 7 or 8 games.
Yep.
Twa went to shit, even though it probably wasn't completely his fault.
Yeah.
Yokohama was there for 55 days, but then again, he had like a baptism of fire, and
That wasn't his fault.
It wasn't completely his fault. So, I think if I'm Patrick Kisnorbo, I'd be desperate to get back into coaching. Is Perth Glory the opportunity? Well, perhaps he's on the other side of the country. He's not involved in CFG. He's not because he's not going to bail. Like people have to remember that
he's got to build a bit of his reputation.
And the big
100%.
thing is that the 2 overseas ventures that he had were all CFG based. I can't see a CFG based club from overseas going to Paddy Kisnorbo if he starts doing well at Glory and saying, "Hello, mate. Would you be keen to go overseas again?"
No,
I don't think.
And I don't think he will want to personally go overseas again.
No,
I think
he knows he's got to rebuild his reputation.
He'd have,
a little bit.
and look, I can understand the reservations from people about Kisnorbo.
Yeah,
though I think we can't be too picky as a club that has won the women's
Absolutely.
spoon
and
three
he
of the
did
last
a job
4
like he
times.
came into Victory and got them playing decent football
He
straight
got him,
away.
and this is the thing as well. There's various forms of arguments and fallacies that you could use to deconstruct people's points about Kisnorbo, because a lot of them are like, oh well, he inherited a good team from Eric Monbear, therefore he's a bad coach. Well, no, because you then have to drive that team. You then have to implement your own ideas and principles and practices.
Yeah.
He did so over a long period of time where he got 2 premierships and 1 championship.
Yep.
And if you want an example on how it's not easy to just copy and paste, well, why did Rado Vidicic go to shit?
Yeah.
There's your question. So that's one thing. And I just think there's a lot of, kind of confirmation and attribution biases where it's like, he did shit at, Yokohama, therefore he's a shit manager sort of thing. And he was lucky at City. So I'd take him. But I also agree with your point about Nick Montgomery.
He's shown he can work with the squad.
From the 3, he'd be your pick.
I think Nick would be the most balanced pick, and I
100%.
think if he walked in through the door, I think you'd get a lot of players that'd be going, yeah, we might go somewhere. I think
100%.
With PK, you might get, oh shit.
Taggart.
And he did coach Amos.
I think we can all agree that Tag's got a bit of a fiery personality. You know, on the field you can see it. Like he can be very expressive. And I think along with Tags, he's a big name player. Right, he's one of when you think A-League strikers right now, he's still up there in terms of absolute quality, right? Yeah. You need to bring in someone that's going to both respect the fact that he is as good as
don't try and pick fights with him in the first few weeks.
Exactly, and I'm not saying that PK would do that. It's just I'm not so sure that he.
There might be a bit of clashing heads. That's the only risk.
And we have to also remember here that this squad is no longer a squad that is lacking talent. There are so many names in this squad which are very high-profile names. Wales, Lawrence, Taggart. You could even put Sutton there because he's showing his quality. You know, Amos is when he's fit is good. Pennington came across as one of the better midfielders in the league. You've got Kaczarski, who's showing his quality and was one of the main targets in the league. There are so many names here that you need a manager that can come in and balance them all out instead of playing favourites and picking fights and saying, you do this, you do that.
The way I read the article, though, it made it out like it's more likely going to be PK or Ross Aloisi.
Ross Aloisi.
Ross is interesting.
Ross is an interesting one. I've heard a lot of good feedback about him.
I have
Me
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Very, very strong feedback about him as a coach.
And he fits the Socceroos thing. I mean, so
Not
does...
particularly.
Well,
it's not Ross, not particularly, but
last name.
I've heard a lot of good things, but as well, I think it's risky taking another gamble on an assistant coach because he hadn't quite. I know he played temporarily well at Brisbane, but he hasn't quite built a good enough resume.
I think in terms of optics, it's like, do you really want to be sacking an assistant turned head coach for another assistant turned head coach? Even though I think Ross
would be a good coach.
I think. Well, look, if it came down to it, I'm not saying no to Ross Aloisi.
Of course not.
I'm not saying no to that.
I'm not saying no to Ross, but I'm also saying yes to Nick Montgomery.
Well, depending on what level of negotiations we're even in, because I think Glory, from my understanding, they were very keen to get John Aloisi, obviously.
Who wouldn't be?
I mean, it would have been the perfect fit.
It would have been great, but I think,
there's too many other jobs that might be coming up.
Correct.
For John.
And he's I hate to shit on ourselves, but he's better than coming to Perth.
Yeah.
He's got...
Especially when he can see how much other teams are... There's so much buzz.
It's a poison chalice, and I think you'd have a big set of balls to walk into Glory and go, I can make that work.
Yeah. 100%, but that's why I also want Nick, because he came into the Mariners and he said, sure, I'll work with this.
Yeah,
and I think it's so well.
If Monty wants to become a head coach again, because I think Ange might be wanting to take a break from football.
Wouldn't well, he's got like 10 mil. Just he's fine.
So I think Monty would be a great choice, and I think we should pursue that.
100%.
PK was suggested as the favourite in the commentary. I think someone mentioned.
But is that what is that based off of, as best manager available who's looking for a job, or is that actually based off of any kind of information?
I think it'd be a little bit based on info.
Okay.
Yeah. I think because, the way things had been reported the last few days, I should say, not weeks.
Okay.
Last few days, there was hesitancy that John Aloisi would accept the gig.
Yeah.
And Paddy Kisnorbo was presented as someone that's keen to jump in.
It definitely seems, though, like it's escalating very quickly, and I do feel like a deal will happen quickly.
I doubt it.
I think by the end of international break.
I think by the end of the international break.
Which actually is, in terms of actual games played, is quite
quick.
Quick.
Because I think you got to consider that Glory would want to have a process, because they've only really had discussions with Aloisi.
Well,
John.
No, Brian.
What?
Yeah, you'd think they would want to do that.
Yeah.
But,
I think...
But will they do that, James?
I think they will.
That's the smart thing to do, James.
I think they will.
They bloody better.
We'll see. But I think they...
Because realistically, though, PK would be an easier deal to do than Ross or...
I don't know. Well, Ross is going to leave. John. Ross is going to leave Shanghai either way.
But then we'd have to wait for him. PK's just...
Potentially.
Waiting.
But it depends. Yeah. It depends what they want, because I think they know in terms of optics, they can't afford to balls this up.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm almost at that point where I don't care who the coach is, as long as we start playing better and winning. As long
games. As I just want a proven manager.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Yeah. I'll be happy with someone. Ideally, I want someone who has won something in the A-League before.
Same.
And as well, I feel like we need a proven manager where we can't be, if we're still not performing, we can't be questioning the coach. Because if we bring in another assistant coach, and we'll be questioning if he's up to scratch or not.
Yeah, I want to bring in someone who we can go, okay, it's not the manager, because we know how good he is. It's got to be something else.
So, turning our attention to Mariners,
Also, real quick, sorry, just on the manager thing, I did have a question.
Yes.
Say John takes. The Western Sydney job isn't really relevant here because there's no way Stadge would want to come back to Perth. I don't think.
Yeah.
Say JA takes the Sydney job for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Would you want Tale?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to throw that out there because he might become available. Obviously the Victory too, but
there's not. I can't lie. There hasn't been much great feedback on Tale.
No, I personally wouldn't want him either.
It did sound like at the end of last season that there was going to be a fairly sizable exodus from Sydney FC because let's not forget Lolly was very keen.
Yeah, I'm not hearing. I have noted all the City fans I know as well have said nothing good about the guy tactically.
So Central Coast Mariners, we've got them Friday night.
Yep.
Love
a Friday night game, man. So
what do we think?
I think we're going to win.
The thing is,
personally,
I say this, I'm always like optimistic because I think from the heart, not the brain. My heart says, my heart and brain say, I think if we play the way we played against Victory with another week of training and just polish a few little things, I do genuinely believe we can win.
100%, yeah.
It depends if it's one of those days and we play well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Mariners aren't, they're not that good, right? They are one of the lesser teams. We were saying this, that Phoenix are obviously there with them.
We got to win.
I
even without a head coach, we've got to win.
I genuinely do. This is the first time in about nearly 2 years where I actually think we will win this one. Yeah, I think we will.
I think we will.
And I want to be. I'm fine to be proven wrong, and we lose. I'm okay with that. But I'm confidently saying I do think we will win.
Like Victory, I always went into it going, I'm sure we'll give it. We'll have that new
coach bounce back. We'll give it a good crack.
Yeah. I said 3-1 to Victory is my prediction.
Yeah. So predictions for Mariners:
2-0. Glory
win.
Yeah. 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 win. I think
we will concede. I think Tags is going to bag 2, or Lockie will get 1.
Tags is bound to get.
I reckon Lawrence will get.
I also think this is going to be Caltech's bounce back game against his old club.
Well, I just hope that the players can, because regardless of who's going to be the next coach, we need to win this game to get a decent enough start for the finals. Because we've already got quite a fair bit of catch up to do.
Yeah.
So we kind of need to get going.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what we were saying to the players at the end of the game.
Yeah.
We were speaking obviously with Woots and Wales, and they don't need us to tell this to them, but it's like, go and kill the fucking Mariners.
Yeah.
It's like, and I know that's me being quite disrespectful, but it's like, well,
we deserve something like that.
We fumbled a huge opportunity against Wellington.
Although I'd argue that was good that we drew that because that means Dave got sacked.
Well, we got our ass kicked by Melbourne City, and then we just weren't at the races against Melbourne Victory. So and look, they still got that confidence.
And Wales was genuinely, he was confident.
No, I'm so happy that we saw Wales not at fullback.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was like to me, like he was like, no, like seriously, dude. He wasn't just saying this because I was a fan. He was like, man, like, I am honestly confident we're going to start winning games.
Yeah, like I saw like the first 45, it looked like he was remembering how to play on the wing again in an actual game.
And then
the next 45, he was like, I've got it now. Ping, 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 ping.
R9.
This is the player I knew that we'd sign. I was so happy. So I really hope he's right that we'll start picking up the win soon.
Fingers crossed. Were there any final points before we wrap up the episode?
We didn't want to do this before the start of the episode because we were about to go into, probably swear our heads off. But we do just want to send our condolences to the Vest family. An absolute glory legend in Alan Vest has passed away. Helped lead the club to two NSL champions.
Yeah,
yep.
I think so, yeah.
Between 2001 and 2006
with Mish, I think. Yeah, and he was the interim.
Yep. They won one of them on my birth year. That shows how long ago it was now. 2003. But absolutely horrible news to hear that he has passed away, but absolute legend of the club, and we all send our condolences to the family and our respects. So hope you guys are doing well. Thoughts and prayers with you guys.
Alrighty. Well, Alex will be back next week, unfortunately, so you'll have to deal with more of his rants. Yet we've somehow managed to have an extended episode, even without Alex's rants.
I think we've done well. I enjoyed this one.
I
think so much easier without.
I think it would probably be a bit of an easier episode to listen to if you're at work or on a nice cruisy drive.
Instead of Alex just screaming down your ears.
Yeah, but we'll try and include some guests over the.
We do have a few people.
We've got some ideas, and hopefully we can present them to you guys in the not too distant future.
So I think I've said 100% in agreement with you guys at least 10 times this episode. I don't know if people are going to comment that because I just keep saying it.
And I know we brought up Juan Mata earlier. Me and James had the pleasure of meeting him as well.
Oh, mate, he's a short ass. Jeez.
No, he seems like a really nice guy.
What did he say to you? Oh, nice
shirt,
like, man.
I love your badge.
James was wearing a United jumper, by the way. So that's for
dickhead.
I mean, I was wearing an Everton jersey, so
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, we had some United Academy graduates that were playing, in Woots and Lawrence, so I was showing my support that way.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
cringe.
Thanks, dork. Thanks all for listening. Catch us on Spotify as well. We've got plenty of listens there.
Yep. Give us 5 stars,
YouTube. We cracked 500 views on our most recent episode.
Yep.
So get around it.
Make sure you follow the Instagram as well.
Follow the Instagram. Follow the TikTok. We put all sorts of clips out there. And Twitter. We're not saying X because we're not that woke, but yeah. So
the Zeets.
So yeah. Thank you all for listening, and leave your thoughts below because we enjoy reading your comments.
We really do. I spend
thoughts.
a long time just scrolling.
Even though there's a few buffheads that ask if we're ticklish or not, and I'm talking about you, cutie, you fucking moron.
And we've made it to episode 40.
Right? We really have.
We've made it to episode 40.
A lot of football podcasts don't make it this far.
Yeah, well,
we've done really well.
People have put up with us for that long, so yeah.
So massive shout out to you guys. Thank you for giving
if
us
the
audience.
visuals at any point have crapped themselves, we do apologise.
Yeah,
blame Alex.
Blame Alex for deciding to leave, but also don't, because I think this is a much easier episode without him. So yeah, this is actually last episode is actually Alex's last episode. After this one, we're done with Alex. He's never coming back.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway,
good stuff.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. Cheers.
See you, boys. Bye.
All right.